This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. I am here with our friend who is joining us all the way from Piemonte. I have Marina Marcarino who is joining us from Punset. How are you today?
Great. I am really happy to be here with you.
Now, we've been tasting today your wines from Barbaresco. Now, Barbaresco is an area that is quite often thrown in beside Barolo, but you think the two regions to be distinctly different?
Absolutely, yes. They are inside of the same region, which is Langhe. However, they present different peculiarities. To resume in a few words, being the same origins which go back to 16 million years ago, the Barbaresco region always gives a Nebbiolo with an elegant taste and velvety tannins, and Barolo gives wine with big shoulders, important tannins, a little more aggressive. They are two wines with different peculiarities that could stand together nearby without one which is dominating on the other.
It's interesting because many people speak about them in the same breath, which is the wines can be so different, that's for sure.
Yes, the fact is that they have the same origin and they are made with 100% Nebbiolo, but as we have two wines, we have two different peculiarities. I mean, if they would be the same, we would have only one wine.
Now, it has to be said that some people have been rather heavy-handed in their production of Barbaresco, as in you were talking about Barbaresco being much more elegant, but some people do use a little bit too much oak, even today.
Yes, you know, I think that we have like two different style of production, and even I think that there is a different mentality depending on the producer. There was a time that Barolo has been considered like the king,
yes,
and Barbaresco the prince, and so the prince wanted to be a king, but actually that's not correct. So the old style.
It's almost like the Barbaresco was bulked up by all of that oak to try and make it a much more muscular wine.
Yeah, but it is a big mistake because
yes.
it's the same to have a Barolo that want to be like a Barbaresco, too soft, and it doesn't make sense. So there was a time that Barbaresco was really over oaked, over macerated,
yes,
with this tannin that were becoming at that point a little rustic, and so missing the main peculiarity of the wine. And then now, fortunately, there is a new vision of this wine, the correct, I can say, the proper vision of the wine, and we go more in the elegant direction.
May we speak a little about the very particular soils within Barbaresco?
Yes, we have some origins which are, as I told you, quite far. The area has been a Padanian sea until 17 million years ago.
Right.
In almost 1 million years, there was a big, deep flood that pushed the water out of the region, and as a first, two little islands raised out, and they were the Barbaresco and the Barolo area. And the condition of the soil is actually like to be on the bottom of the sea, dried, and it is a clay which is quite tough, quite rich in substances, of course, because of the sea. But in the between there are lines of sand, highly pressed, and this sand is the one that gives the peculiarity to the tannins. It is called tufo, but it is a mistake because actually it is a marble, and it is the one where the roots lays on for getting their nutrition. So there is a lot of complexity in it. In the Barbaresco region is more calcium richer, and in the Barolo region there are more metals, is a little darker, and this gives the different peculiarities to the two wines at the end.
How do you feel Barbaresco as a wine is seen on the world stage these days?
I think that Barbaresco could be, It is something special because we have a very limited production. You know, the total production of this wine is 5 million bottles, which is almost nothing. And so I think we don't need to push it, but we need to discover it a little more and to make something like a communication more in the real direction the wine is. So it is a wine that could be really welcoming because it is pleasant and it is elegant and it is very complex. It is not a wine that we have to hurry up to drink because it can age 50 years. So it's just a question of communication.
Now, the big question that many people have when it comes to Barbaresco is, when is a good age to drink a Barbaresco? And I know that changes from vintage to vintage, but in your mind, what would be the minimum length of time before you would approach a Barbaresco?
I personally prefer wines that are a little more refined, that can express the typicity of the appellation and of course of the variety. So to me, a Barbaresco which is less than 6-7 years old is too young, even for open vintages. So at this time, to me, 2009, 2008, 2007 are the vintages that can express better, or at least start to express what is the appellation.
Well, thank you very much for joining us at Good Food Revolution today. Your wines were tasting fantastically
Thanks
today.
a lot.
And it's great. I've been wanting to do this interview for a long time, so really appreciate your time.
Thanks a lot.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.